Oh, so hot in here. This is...
Yeah,
this
that
is
is a heavy
wool
suit for in here.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Why do I always start out every interview with you laughing?
Because I'm wearing a wool suit and I'm very hot. Yes, I think that's why.
Dudley, I have missed you the last couple of years. Well, we didn't do press for Santa Claus, but of course I saw you in Santa Claus. And then I don't know what happened to you. Did you just disappear into the North Pole?
I died and I rose again, and it was very painful. I just took 2 years off. I became 50, and like a lot of people around the age of 50, I thought, well, I have to pretend that this is an important time, and I have to reassess. And that's what I did. Nothing occurred to me of any great import, so I decided to work again. So that's really the story behind that.
A midlife crisis, was it?
Not really, no. I mean, I've had that for maybe 30 years. Midwife crisis, too. I've had great trouble getting out of my mother's womb. She kept on trying to push me back in. But, no, it's a slightly alarming time, I think, because we designated it as that. But I feel calmer, as a matter of fact, now than I ever have done. Maybe after the resignation or something, I don't know. But I didn't feel like doing anything really, except I wanted really to get hold of what I really wanted to do, whether it's writing music or doing another film or whatever. I don't think one ever has that privilege, you know. I don't think I say, oh my God, this is it. This is the one thing I've always wanted to do in my whole life. I don't know if that happens too often. But I loved this film. I loved the notion of it, and I felt it'd be fun to do.
Okay. You know, whenever I mention your name to anyone, or the name of Dudley Moore comes up, right away people say, Arthur.
Mm.
Do you find that to be so?
Oh, yeah. People call me Arthur all the time, you know, in the street when I meet people. And I think it was a role that in a way, best depicted me. And I mean, not that I'm some what's the word? An incorrigible drunk. But Arthur was a person who enjoyed life, and he was harmless enough in a way. I guess that's me. Enjoyed life, harmless enough in a way. But I enjoy life, and I enjoy having the fun, the sort of fun that he had, and pricking bubbles of hypocrisy, I suppose, and getting to what is real between people, because I lived a lot of my life, I suppose, not getting to grips with that, and so it's a relief in later years to be able to say, well, here we are, and this is what's happening between us now, you know, as opposed to what I experienced in the past, which was extreme discomfort at hiding and whatnot.
Is it the benchmark by which you judge all roles?
In many ways, because I thought that was an extraordinary script. We found a script recently in the last week, which we feel will be an absolutely terrific sequel to it. And
really?
Boy, I never thought that would happen.
And it will be Arthur?
It's going to happen, I think, without a doubt. And I will be Arthur. And I'm looking forward to it. I never thought anybody could get on the same footing with this script, but somebody has, and I think it'll be terrific. I loved that script. I laughed so hard when I read it. I mean, I kept on phoning my agent up and saying, this is the best thing I've read in years, you know. And I think people remember those lines. I met a 6-year-old in my restaurant the other day who was doing all my lines for me. I couldn't believe it. It was so funny to see this little embryonic Arthur, you know, going on at me. It was wonderful. And I think that they are wonderfully rich, poetical, funny, deeply funny lines. That's what I love about that.
Oh, we'll look forward to that.
Yeah.
Kirk Cameron says that you helped him a great deal to grow as an actor and all. What do you think about this young guy?
Well, firstly, I'm amazed that he said that, because I think whatever growth he experienced must have been purely, certainly not with my knowledge, you know, I mean, or my permission. I think that I'm very flattered that that was the case. We had a terrific time. I think that he has a way of working that I see with scenes with him and Trigger, for instance, in the film, his friend, which are so natural and easy. I mean, he's very, very good at that stuff. There may have been other aspects of comedy that he may have picked up something. I don't know, but he doesn't have to pick up anything from anybody. I mean, he just has to go on feeling more and more relaxed as the years go by, and he's just fine already. I mean, I'm flattered that he felt that, but I would never set myself up as somebody who taught, or even by osmosis.
What were you doing when you were 16?
Feeling very unhappy, feeling worried about life, in a stranglehold with the technicolored feelings of puberty and the feeling of not really knowing where I am. I mean, I think it's an awful time for anybody. I think it's awful. It's like, you know, having your gallbladder out. It's really a very unpleasant experience. It's not a mild discomfort, as the doctor says. It's hell. And you go through that, and there's no way of avoiding it, perhaps. Maybe you can avoid the gallbladder situation, but you can't avoid being 16 and those terrible feelings. And I was a mess, as I am today. Complete mess.
But you're happy today.
Oh, happy mess, yes. Happy mess. I feel fine. I'm much more relaxed. I'm trying to tell everybody that's a diet soda, but it's not. It's a diet soda.
Dudley, when are you going to grow up?
I don't know. When my mummy lets me. I don't know. I think I'm grown up. I think I grew up years ago, as a matter of fact, and I never admitted it to myself. And I think that laughter and enjoying life is growing up. And I always thought, oh, that's being a child, but it's not. It's actually being grown up.
Are you sometimes, though, in a deep philosophical mood?
Oh, often, I think. Yeah, absolutely. I get very affected by depth. Needles are going, you know, about 6 inches. I feel... I have very deep, dark, but very communicable thoughts. But I have a very serious side to myself. I think you have to if you're a comedian or a comedic actor. That has inspired your comedy in many ways. That gravity has inspired the levity.
But they don't last long, I don't think.
Those moods, no, because I generally enjoy myself too much. I try to enjoy myself too much. I realise that I have the right to enjoy myself too much, so that those moments don't last now.
Dudley, I have to tell you, I enjoyed you so much in this film.
Oh, thanks.
And it's so good to see you again. And I'm so glad you're not hiding out at the North Pole. I was afraid you were up there freezing your little elf ears off, and I'm so glad you're not.
Well, I won't be an elf again. Not in a hurry, anyway.
Thanks, Dudley.
Thanks, I got it.